Muriti Nguta, who is for the Deep Learning Indaba in East Africa, a community representative. She's part of the organizing team for Indaba Kenya, Indaba X Kenya 2022. Can we give her a round of applause?
So Deep Learning Indaba is an organization whose mission is to strengthen machine learning and artificial intelligence in Africa. So we mainly we aim to drive, our main goal is African not being only observers and receivers of the ongoing advances in AI across all other parts of the world, but also bring this home. We are active shepherds and owner of our technological advances. So Indaba X is the child, the firstborn of the Deep Learning Indaba. These are local Indabas that are held in each country. So this year we aim to do this in conjunction with the Africa Low Tech to one, sensitize people on what you can do with the main theme for the Africa Low Tech, that is AI and democracy.
I've really been enjoying the reports that policy have been putting out on data and feminism in Africa, just breaking it down and trying to figure out what is the problem with the data economy and women and girls. So we are really excited to have you, Irene, and she's here with us.
My name is Irene Mwendwa. I'm a lawyer by profession, just like everyone in the room. In 5-year-old language, we are trying to ensure all of us understand the nitty-gritties of data and technology in an African way, by Africans and for Africa. And if you want to see how we've broken down some of that information, you can check us out, policy with double L at policy.org. Thank you.
A warm round of applause for Dr. Mark Rottenberg.
Stephen Hawking, the famed scientist, said this about artificial intelligence. The advent of super-intelligent AI would be either the best thing or the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity. The real risk with AI, Hawking wrote, isn't malice, but competence, whereas the short-term impact of AI depends on who controls it. The long-term impact of AI depends on whether it can be controlled at all. Can AI be controlled? That is the challenge before us. And we confront this challenge even as we learn about the remarkable progress of artificial intelligence. Like many of you, I am fascinated by the recent developments in the field of AI. Over the last several years, we have seen dramatic developments in language translation and image recognition. In our current day, we read about programs that create musical scores, much like famed composers, write literary works as good as famous authors, even create images that we could not previously imagine. I remember as a young boy learning how to play the game of chess. And I was pretty good at it, and computers in those days were not very good. But a lot has changed. AI systems can easily beat the world chess champion. An AI system has beat the world champion in Go. But even these new AI systems are different from the earlier AI systems. The new systems based on machine learning beat the old-style expert systems. When AlphaZero beat Stockfish in the World Computer Chess Championship, it was not relying on the expertise that had been provided by chess grandmasters. It was simply told the rules of the game. It played itself millions of times, and then took on the system that had been designed by the chess grandmasters and defeated it. But perhaps what was even more remarkable about the victory of AlphaZero was that there was no simple way to understand why the moves that program played had been chosen. You see, with the old style rule-based expert systems, it was always possible to trace through a decision tree how an evaluation was made and how an outcome was produced. But with the new style, machine learning, we don't know why AlphaZero made the moves it made. The moves could not be proven, and they could not be replicated. And so, with this innovation, we also realize that there is a new price to pay in the world of artificial intelligence. In the age of machine learning, we see results that impress us, but we don't know how they are derived. We don't see the analysis. We don't see the judgment that supports the outcome. Why should this be of concern to us? Let me pose this question to you. What is a judge to do when she is presented with a recommendation from an AI system based on machine learning that proposes a particular sentence for a criminal defendant, yet she cannot interrogate the basis of that recommendation? She cannot evaluate. There is, however, in support of the recommendation, lots of evidence to say this is a very good machine and has previously made expert suggestions in the past. Or what about the teacher who relies on a machine learning system to grade her students? There is a lot of complexity in this new system. She can't fully evaluate the basis of the decision. She will be told this is an expert system. It is very reliable. What about all of the companies that today sift through thousands of resumes from job applicants and are advised by third parties relying on these expert systems? Who are good candidates for employment and who can be put aside? To what extent do these systems provide exciting, creative, new people for the workplace? Or to what extent might they replicate the past bias that already exists within the company? Across thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of organizations all around the world, we are today using artificial intelligence to make decisions about people. But the great challenge, you see, is that we don't understand the basis of these decisions. We are entering a world where our lives are increasing under scrutiny, but the devices that render the decisions have become increasingly opaque. And so we have a challenge for our political institutions and our legal institutions. How are we to govern these systems? How are we to ensure that fundamental rights are protected, that we follow the rule of law and not the rule of the machine? As lawyers, judges, policymakers, it will be your responsibility to establish the rules that minimize the risk of opaque decision-making. We must ensure that AI is accountable and that decisions are fair and transparent. We must ensure that AI advances social benefits and human dignity. And we must also consider the broad range of impact that AI will have upon our environment and sustainability.